That is the skid steer that just loaded me up with some manure here. Actually, that's not my load, that's where it came from. And this is what I am taking back to the farm. So it's a little dry, I need to add some water to it, but this will make compost. So you'll notice this right here in my hand is mostly sawdust. And then I also have hay in here and a whole lot of manure from these guys right here. So this is a horse farm, and they are actually breeding horses, and I think they call it foaling. And those are the little babies out there. And because they spend time in the barn when they're first born, that's why there's so much sawdust. And they're more sloppy than I am when they eat. Apparently they drop a lot of hay. So between their manure, the sawdust, and the hay, I have all the green and brown here I need. All I have to do is give it a little bit of water and turn it once in a while. So just can't help but get extra video footage of these little guys running around. This one is the little one. It's only her second time out in the field here, and she's running and skipping around, having a good old time with her mama there. Anyhow, what I wanted to show you is for transport. I actually have 2x10s, and one of them's broke, you can see there. And I've attached via screws and washers the 2x4s to the tarp. And that allows me to throw the tarp over easily because I'm here on a regular basis, and I just put one 2x4 on one side and I unroll it and put it on the other side, the other one on the other side. And that way I can pull it tight to transport this and do it easily without having to have a pain of tying this down all the time. So let me put this over top and unroll it, and I'll show you how I strap it in. Okay, this is one end, and you can see the tarp is screwed on with washers. I put a strap over the front, and that way I can curl this back over. I go onto the fender well here, and I go across the back. All I need are 3 straps, and because of the 2x4s, it holds them up, holds the tarp on just fine, and I tie up any loose straps here. And then on this end, the excess tarp is just rolled around the 2x4 here. And we are ready for transport. Baby horses sunbathing. We are back at the homestead now. This is the first pile that I was working on. It was probably, I would guess, 5 or 6 weeks ago when I started this one. And if I turned it every 2 days and did the Berkeley method, this would probably be done right now. It's pretty close. I'm actually still kicking around 140 degrees, so it's still heating up and the bacteria is working in there. So I'll continue turning it until the temperature comes down into the around 100 degrees or so here. But it smells earthy. It doesn't have any manure smell to it. It looks good. So I'm very happy with it, but it's just not quite done. And this is pile 1 of 3. We'll go over and take a look at the other 2 in a moment. And this is pile number 2. This one, you can see, has some bigger chunks in it down here. It hasn't been turned as many times. It's approximately 3 weeks old. Temperature is a little bit hotter. We are right around the 150 mark. And by the way, if you haven't seen this before, this is a compost thermometer and gives you an idea. And I generally want to be in the 140 to 160 range to kill the weed seeds in here. So this one, and it has a little bit of a smell to it as far as manure still, and you can see that there's still visible signs of their food, the hay and stuff in here. So this one needs to get turned, and it's probably got several more weeks at least before this one is ready to go. So I will show you in a little while how to turn these. And pile number 3 is still being put together here. I have 2 trailer loads on here. I'm going to put a third. This will be my third. And this is what it looks like. You see it's a lot more brown, a lot more hay and stuff in here. This has only been turned once, I think. And I will be adding more to it. And after that, I won't add any more to it. I'll come up with another pile somewhere else. Okay, a little bit of housekeeping here. The hat is to keep the gnats and stuff above my head, and it works great. Otherwise, they'd be dive bombing me and hitting me in the eye. As I'm going to go ahead and offload the trailer here, and this is the only time I really have to touch this stuff by hand. I have a tractor to turn it and everything else, and for the main part of the pile here, I go at it with a pitchfork because of the hay. A shovel or anything will get hung up in the hay, and it just is not very efficient. And then when I'm doing the bottom of the trailer here, a coal shovel works perfectly for that. So I'm going to go ahead and, so what I'm going to do, because I have an existing pile here that already has 2 loads, I'm going to add a 3rd load. So I'm going to do about a half a trailer load on top, spread it out evenly over the top, including around the backside. And then I'm going to soak it with a hose. And I want to be able to squeeze it and get just about a drop of water out, maybe 2 drops, and that's it. So I don't want water just completely running off, but I do want to make sure that it soaks it, and it takes a lot of water with the hay. And I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of this video on like 20 times speed, so it goes by really, really fast. Okay, that's about a half a trailer load there, maybe not quite, but I'll do a little bit more the second round. Now I'm going to go ahead and water it, and again, I'll put that in fast motion. Okay, today we are going to aerate the pile, or move it. So we're basically going to take it from this spot right here, and we're going to move it back over there, and we're going to pick it up and dump it and allow air to get into it. And notice that when I pick up big scoops here and move it, you'll notice that there should be some steam coming off because of the heat there. So I'm probably going to put this on fast forward as well, just so we're not wasting a lot of time here. And that is how I turn the compost pile. So you can see there's still some in here, but after this pile is done and moved and put where it's going, I'm actually going to be doing more here. So it doesn't matter, whatever's left here will end up in the next compost pile or the one after that. It'll be a good starter for us. And this is a finished pile, been here probably close to 1.5 years, but just completely wonderful. I still have a little bit of the wood in here, and the manure. I have tons of stuff trying to grow on it. It's everything I can do just keep it the weed pressure down, and I use it making my own potting mix, and I put it in my garden beds and everything, and it does great. I've done the bean method where you soak this in water, and you grow 2 sets of beans. You put water soaked in the compost in one and just plain water in the other, and you check to see if it kills the beans or not. That'll let you know if there's any kind of herbicides or anything, because beans are very, very susceptible to that, and everything does very well with that. So the horse farm actually uses organic hay, which means there shouldn't be any kind of pesticides or herbicides in there. There could be dewormer in the manure itself from the horses, but I have yet to have any problems with that. I have plenty of things growing in here, worms and other kinds of stuff, so everything has been good. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. We'll talk to you later.